Okay, everybody, so what I've been doing is wrestling with this. I finally got it together. There's huge problems like this former and this attachment point that did not go together well at all. There's some mismatch here and there, but overall it looks okay. The issue is that fitting the skins to the previous skin was extremely difficult around a former. So what I did in the end here, like this piece for instance, the former that was supposed to go in there, there was no way it was ever going to fit. And I don't know why. So what I ended up doing was just forming the second piece, the tail end piece around here, and just gluing it to the tab so it's on there nice and solid. These lines match up. I've got pretty good match where things are a little off, but everything looks pretty good. And it's strong enough. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to hold the tail. The issue is the cross section is not correct because I don't have the formers in here. From here I got a former here, and then from here back there's no formers at all because it just didn't seem worth the headache. I could not figure out how to make them go together well. So the ceiling is supposed to be flatter like this. This is, has a very curved feel to it. It's supposed to be considerably flatter. But this is also where things fit and came together naturally. And since no one really is going to care, least of all me, I'm just leaving it the way it is. I might put a dowel or something in the bottom here and have it glued all the way along the bottom to have it be a place where, if it attaches up here and goes all the way to the back, that's going to provide some strength and rigidity, but it really doesn't need it. I think we're going to be okay. So fuselage is basically together. This piece I kind of popped out a little bit from the last video, and it doesn't look too bad, although this raked diagonal, looking at pictures of the real airplane, it's supposed to be more vertical. Maybe not quite vertical, but I think this is too much. But that's the way it folded, and so, I don't know. It's a weird mishmash because there's things that worked really well, like putting this piece together worked beautifully. This fit on nicely. Even this part, how difficult that was or how strange the folding was, it came together quite well. The wings are awesome, they came together. And this all looks good, it's just that the fuselage so far has been my undoing. That's been the hard part. Everything else has gone together. So what I'm going to do is not worry about this, it's working. Next thing is to put on the stabilizer. Or probably what I'll do is get it made. I'm going to make the stabilizer, and then maybe I'll put the wing on first, and then get the tail parallel, perpendicular, whatever, to the wing. So that'll be what we'll end up doing after we do this little part here. We'll start to put the actual wings on, but it's coming together. Looks very good. These are the parts for the tails, and I thought I would show you kind of live. So these are the rudders and fins. This is the internal structure for each of those pieces. And then here is one of the two stabilizers. There's a biplane stabilizer. I built the one that goes on the top already, and it came together okay, and hopefully I can show you how it works with these. So let's go over building these a little bit, and we'll sort of go from there. Notice, let's just take this one here, a fin, a rudder. I'll make one and I'll make some off camera. But this is the internal part that goes inside the rudder and the fin. These dotted lines are where you're going to score and fold it, so it's going to be like a little box with a thicker end on this side and a thinner end on this side, and the light blue will sort of cement it all together. That's going to go inside this. Now this is the leading edge. Here and here is going to be the little dot there. I think that's where you're supposed to fold it. Now I don't know if it's supposed to be rounded at the edge or not, but I'm going to probably do that because it seems to me it makes sense to do that. This piece will be cut and folded over to be the edge and hold that down. So this is going to be sort of spliced down the middle. It makes me nervous though to just do that. So what I'm doing is trying to fold it carefully around something. So I'm going to hold this like what Neil does with his and line up the lines there and then fold them over a little bit. And then hopefully what that does is make it so I'm not going to have any bad kinks, and that worked out really, really well. Thank you, Neil. These pieces have to be folded over, these little tip pieces here, and I'm going to go ahead and just do this with them. Just a couple little drags here along that dotted line should be sufficient to fold those over. And I can take my tweezers and do that. That's going to come together nicely just like that. This is going to fold over just like this. So you can see they're angled here. This will fold back like this, and they will fold together and make a real nice piece just like that. That's going to be beautiful. Okay. Now in here goes this spar. So spar, we have to emboss along these dotted lines. 2 or 3 is sufficient, and you have to be pretty accurate. I don't think you have to go crazy, but you do want it to be good. Fold along. Going to be folding all those pieces right along there, and this part doesn't matter. You don't have to be super careful because you're going to obviously be sort of you're going to be folding, and this part's going to be inside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But just to be careful, I'll fold this part over first, so it starts. Then I'll fold the blue over, and that part's going to cement on the other side. Then these go over, and you're forming this little box spar, just like that. So what we'll do is put a little glue on the blue, labeled 15 there, and that will glue on the inside, and we'll be, we should be good to go. This part of the model impresses me a great deal. I really think that the coloring and making these little paper box spars really works out well. There's a fella I met at the paper model convention who runs Murph's Models, and he does a lot of paper internal spars. And I wonder if he got the idea from these guys, or it's just something that people do. I don't know. But it works out really well, surprisingly well in my opinion, because I would think it's just paper, but it's plenty strong. So anyway, put those together like that. Squeeze them shut with your tweezers as best you can. Kind of, I think you're supposed to make them kind of like that. So, oh, I must have a phone call. Hold on a second. Oh, that was my daughter calling. So, I just folded this over and put it in. So I've got both little rudders and fins done. These are the ones that go on the outside. So if this is the top stabilizer, these are going to fit here and come down like this. And they look like they're going to fit really well. Now, the center has a hole cut out because that's where this special fin piece goes. Notice it's got extra cutouts down here as opposed to this one, so it looks actually different. It's also, its internal little spar has this extra piece that goes up, this white piece. That, I believe, is going to fit in here like that, fit into these holes. One here, and then when we do the other stabilizer, that's the hole for the other side. This is going to be, not a hole I don't think, but this is going to be where landing gear actually going to attach, which I hope will turn out really cool. I also cut these slots out, which is where some struts go on the top, excuse me, and the bottom. But let's, while we're here, let's kind of get this together. This worked just like the other one. I already made my embossed everything, and again, it's different because the top has these extra pieces on there. but it's going to glue together just like the other piece did. So let's get a little glue out. And again, this model surprises me because part of it is fantastic. Most of it is fantastic. But there's little things that are weird, and my guess is it's me, because I'm not all that adept at this. I mean, I build them a lot, but there's still little things. I'm still new at it, and I think there's things I don't do quite right, or things aren't folded quite where they're supposed to be, and then that will make a difference. So I don't know. I'm not going to say that the model is terrible yet. It could be, but I don't think so. Anyway, fold that together just like before. Stick in some tweezers or other implement and squeeze them shut so that your glue dries. And that's that. So that's going to be our little spar. And I kind of make sure it looks straight. Okay, so that's going to be the spar. Now for this piece, like I did before, I put these spars, by the way, well, I gotta be careful where this one goes, because this one has to fit correctly. It has to go in the right place. And the other ones, I put the spar right here in line with the demarcation between the fin and the rudder. Maybe these are supposed to go up here. I'm not sure. That's a really good question. So let's work through it together. So first thing I'll do with this one is, again, fold the piece over. So I'm lining up those notches against the ruler, kind of, and eyeballing where it's going to fold and make a center. So kind of do that, just like Neil does. That seems to work pretty dang well. These pieces get folded over like this. And then I'll fold this over and just make sure that my trailing edges match up, which they do. And then I kind of do a little squeezing here. Not a lot, because I don't want to decompress this so that it looks dumb. But that's going to be just fine. Those pieces will come together on the ends. So there you go. So this piece goes in here. And like I said, the question is, where does it go? Where should I put this? Is it going to be in line like this, or do I put it forward? So that's where we're going to have to take this piece and check it out. So there's the elevator, and this is the top one again. So I'm assuming this is going to go here, like that. So if that went there, and it's a little deformed, but that's okay. If that went there, where would this go? This has to fit. And this piece is notched, so this looks like that would fit really nice right there, which means it does fit right along that. That notch must be for something. Let's see. Based on the directions, I don't know what oh, I see. That notch is going to be for a strut that fits up there. So the notch is on top, apparently. So the notch is supposed to go up, I guess, like this. So I think the notch is on top, and I do align the spar with that piece. Okay, so before we get lost here, because I get lost real easy, I'm going to say this is the top. Oh, it even says part 9 is vertical, but that's the top. Okay, now I'm going to position the spar right at the demarcation of the fin and rudder. So I didn't do a very good job there. Let's see if I can get it better. I usually hold them up to the light and you can see really well. That's better. You can see through the paper, but I didn't do that. So now that's like that. So now I can connect my dots, make me a straight line, and that represents the trailing edge of this spar. And the spar does have a a skinny end and a fatter end. So I'm assuming the fatter end goes forward because you're trying to get sort of an airfoil like that. So I am going to take some glue, put it on here. Oops. Put it on here. And we will attach it to that, right along that line. Just like that. And this doesn't matter if it's up or down, I don't think. I don't think that really makes a bit of difference. We'll put this there, line it up on that piece there. Make sure it's right along where it's supposed to be. Give it a little pressure maybe. I think that's going to be okay. Move it a little bit. I think we're going to be okay. Okay, let that dry for a second. We can get some more glue out. By the way, stupid things to remember. When you finally get your glue out of your bottle, if it's really low, just leave it on its side. Don't keep turning it right side up, because it takes forever to squirt it down and get it down there. It drives me nuts. Okay, so let's put some glue on our spar. Not a huge amount, but enough. Then let's put some glue on our edges of our pieces that are folded over, and a little glue on our trailing edge. That's plenty. Now let's fold this puppy over. Make sure it attaches at the trailing edge, and these look good. Make sure they're kind of there, and then we'll kind of squeeze this shut a little bit. And we can kind of deform things a tad to make sure it looks just right. I mean, that's kind of a little off kilter, but I'm not that worried about that. It'll still be fine. And that's going to be a very strong piece. That, I think, is the top, based on that one strut that's going to go in there. And so now, this will ultimately fit like that. And I might need to trim this a little bit to make it work, but there is the top. We'll go in like so. Bam. That'll look cool when it's all done. And like I said, there's a strut that fits up in there, it looks like, and comes down. So that's what that notch is for. So that's good. So all three rudders are done. Okay, so that's good. Let's get the bottom stabilizer done. So same thing, interior pieces, I've already just kind of bent it so that it bends well. These blue pieces, I think, are where tabs for they will go, I think, through here, and they're going to be on the where the struts fit. And when I check this out and you line these up, it looks to me like these pieces are lining up here and here, not here and here. These two are a little bit further apart. These are a little closer together. So this piece, I assume, has to be on this side when it's time. So I'll make this, and again, I'm going to say, so I don't forget, I'm going to say holes. So I know where these little blue pieces are supposed to go. So get this thing ready. It's a matter of just putting glue along the blue tab, just like so. Very easy to do. And again, you can see you put a little glue on and you smear it out. You don't need a lot. A brush would be a good idea. I tend to just use this thing because I have it handy. And we kind of fold those down, bring this over, and try to make sure you line those up like that. So the blue piece is touching. That one's good. Let's bring this one down, see if we can get this one together. Make sure these line up. That looks good. Bring that in like so. Squeeze them together. I think we're good. And maybe, just maybe, we could stick this in here. And that might give us something to kind of push against so that we get that tab in there all the way up. All right. There you go. And now I said the blue has to go against the blue. Now, on this side. So we're going to put it, I guess, here. Let's see. Smaller end is towards the back, which is the trailing edge. So it'll probably go like, yeah, it'll fit like that. Now this wants to fit where that hole is open like that. So basically, it comes right along. That's a good place to look. It's going to right about there. So that should be easy to fit, I hope. I'm assuming this is all going to work. Now this is somebody who gets things confused and turned upside down and backwards. So we're going to see how much I'm blowing smoke here and how much is actually going to work. And I just put my glue, set it up like that, like I told you not to. Set it down. Now, shorter edge is towards the thinner edge is towards the trailing edge, which is here. This hole lines up with that hole. And it looks like if I just put this there, and line this up so that that is lining up there and that's lining up there. My edges are good. I really hope, that's open, good. I really hope that this should turn out. And while that's drying, the ends here are open. But on the directions, it has a couple of square or rectangular pieces of aluminum that go back here. And all I can figure is you're supposed to basically glue them on like this and then trim them. So I guess that's what we'll do. There isn't an airfoil shape that goes in here. It's just a, so I think it just boxes in like that. It's a butt end joint here, I think. And the more astute of you will realize I was so excited that I forgot to bend over the leading edge of the stabilizer. Smooth move X-lax. So it should still work. Everything should be fine. Also has a notch right there and right there. So I should be able to hold this and roll this puppy over. I hope. That's pretty good. Let's go. Roll it over. Well, come back. Yeah, I should have done this beforehand because now I'm kind of fighting it. But let's see what happens. Yeah, I better. That was a mistake. That was a mistake because now I'm fighting that piece. Maybe I saved it. Or it's a complete disaster. Will this meet up? Yes, it will. It's going to work out, I think. It's not beautiful, but it's going to work. It's going to be okay. I think we're going to be all right. And gosh, the blue, you can't tell, but there's blue under there, which means those are matching up. Coolio. All right. So just like before, a little bit of glue on the spar and a little glue on the trailing edge. Good enough. Let's bring this out like this. I'm trying to avoid the blue part. I don't want to have those blue things have a lot of glue on them when I close this thing. And let's get that. All right, here we go. Whew. Roll this over. Get the glue off your fingers. Idiot. Okay, make sure those match up, which they are pretty well. So trailing edge looks good. And then we do a lot of sort of forming and shaping here. Little bit of compression on there, that's all right. And I still got an airfoil in there. I smushed my spar a little bit, but that's all right. It's better to have it that way. See, so that is the bottom. This will fit in like this, supposedly, or close to it. Might do a little bit of trimming. This will fit like this. I'm gonna have to move them forward a little bit, but that's okay. I can move them forward. But that's the basic thing. And then these just fit on either end. Out here where those white pieces are, like that. That's gonna look great. So I say that's pretty much a success. What I might have to do is move my hole forward a tiny smidge to make sure that this piece, you know, the tip here covers. Let me squeeze it shut a little bit. Make sure it covers, when I put this in, it actually gets to the leading edge, because it looks like it's supposed to be right there and mine ends about here. So I might move these forward just a tiny bit or cut these down a little bit. And I think that's the same with the forward, or with the top, just a little shy. So I'll push it forward a little bit. I have to say, that's awesome. So the next thing we'll do is basically put this whole thing together, and the struts on for it and stuff, and make it a nice square straight piece. Then we'll figure out how it goes on here, because this ultimately, and because the tail wheel fits on there and slides in like this, and then the tail wheel sticks out back here somewhere. So this is going to go on here basically, like so. And then we'll worry about if it's straight or not. Actually, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I mean, unbelievable. So, job well done. More stuff finished, and we'll work on these tails a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. Awesome.